Welcome back, students. In this video, we will going to look at the hydraulic jump. Different types of hydraulic jumps. We have already discussed this thing in our theory part. So, hydraulic jump is a perfect example for rapidly varying flow. The flow in which the depth of flow varies on a large extent on a shorter length. Are you getting my point? So, over the short length of span, the depth will vary largely. So, that type of flow will be called as rapidly varied flow, and the perfect example for rapidly varied flow is hydraulic jump. So, today in this video, we will going to look at the type of hydraulic jump. So, classification of hydraulic jump has been done on the basis of Froude number. So, Froude number, we know that Froude number we can calculate by using this equation. That Froude number is nothing but V divided by G into Y, under root of G into Y. So, V is the velocity at that section, G is acceleration due to gravitational acceleration. It will be treated as a constant, and Y is the depth of flow at that section. So, prior to discussing this formula, let us focus on this diagram. So, this is how we can diagrammatically represent the hydraulic jump. So, here that direction of flow is shown. So, this will be our section number 1 and section number 2, and in between hydraulic jump is formed. Okay, so directly we have shown this, the formed hydraulic jump. So, hydraulic jump is nothing but it is the flow from supercritical condition to subcritical flow. It means in supercritical flow you will find depth of flow will be minimum compared to subcritical. So, this is a transition from supercritical to subcritical. In other words, we can define the hydraulic jump like transition of flow from supercritical to subcritical. Okay. So, this section, at this section, let us say at supercritical section, depth is Y1 and subcritical section, depth is Y2. Yes. So, width of channel will remain constant, it will not going to change. Let us say in our case, width of channel is 10 centimeters. 10 centimeter width of channel is constant. So, width into this depth, we will get the cross sectional area at this section 1, and width into Y2, we will get the cross sectional area at section 2. Now, look to this Froude's number formula or equation. So, these jumps are classified depending upon, see, here we are having two Froude's number, FR1 and FR2. That is Froude number 1 at Froude number at section 1, Froude number at section 2, or we can say Froude number at supercritical section, Froude number at subcritical section. So, in order to classify the hydraulic jump, we have to look to the FR1, not FR2. I am getting my point. So, FR1 can be written as V1 upon root into GY1. How we can determine the V1? So, for V1, I can write, I know that Q equals to area into velocity. And looking to the continuity equation, can I write Q equals to Q1 equals to Q2? So, this is from continuity equation. So, I can write here Q equals to A1 into V1. So, from here, I can determine V1 as V1 will equals to Q upon A1. What is Q here? Q is a discharge, actual discharge. How we can determine the actual discharge? We can determine the actual discharge flowing through the channel forming the hydraulic jump by using measuring tank. Okay, so I think you are well aware about how to determine the discharge by using measuring tank. So that discharge we consider here itself Q divided by A1. How we can calculate the A1? Y1 into B. So this A1 can be calculated as Y1 into B. Okay, so by this way we can determine the value of V1, G is 9.81, Y1, yes, we will going to observe the length Y1. So once we put all the data in this, we will able to determine the value of FR1. And looking to the value of FR1, we can calculate, we can classify the hydraulic jump into these categories, any one of these 5. First, angular jump. When Froude number, that is FR1, please again focus FR1. So if FR1 will be between 1 to 1.7, it can be calculated, it can be determined, it can be concluded that it is angular type of jump. When Froude number will be 1.7 to 2.5, weak type of jump. between 2.5 to 4.5 oscillating, 4.5 to 9 it is steady, and greater than 9 it will be considered a strong hydraulic jump. Okay, so in this practical, so this is all about the theoretical explanation about how to determine the type of flow experimentally. Okay, so for this practical, so this will be the theory, and in practical we will going to observe only depth of flow at section number 1 and the actual discharge flowing through the channel by using measuring tank. So only 2 observations we will going to perform. So this is as far as the theoretical explanation is concerned. So now we will look to the actual experiment. We will handle the instrument, that is tilting plume, over which we will first of all demonstrate the hydraulic jump, and we will try to observe the whatever we are supposed to observe. Okay, let's come to the experiment. So first of all, we will going to look at its construction. Okay, so this is the water tank through which we will going to, this is called the sump tank also. So the water is filled in this tank. So from this tank we will going to pump the water. So here if you observe, so the arrangement what we have done, so pump is there, it is submerged in the water. So pump is there. So from there we are going to pump the water. So this is the discharge operating valve. So by using this valve we can operate the discharge as per our choice. So water is, so once we pump the water through this tank, it is following the path, let us say this one. So through this pipe, this is an inlet for this white pipe. So from there if you observe, water is freely falling. See, here water is coming, and from here again it is coming in the upward direction, and then it flows over the length of this channel. Okay, so this is the construction, and again after it flows through over the total length, then again this is the measuring tank. So this measuring tank we will going to make use of to determine the actual discharge flowing through this channel section. So here if you observe, area of the tank is given, that is 0.18 meter square. So instead of directly following this, you can determine you can measure the width of this channel section by the scale and length of the channel section. So you will be available with the cross sectional area and time taken to accumulate, to collect the water, let us say. So for determining, to measure the depth of water in the measuring tank, here we have inserted one piezometer. So by using this we can calculate how much water is being collected in the measuring tank for a given time. So if therefore area into this depth, it gives the volume. If we divide that volume by the time taken, it gives us the actual discharge flowing through this channel section. So if you observe to this channel section, so this is the width. This is a width of channel, and this is called this is nothing but 10 centimeter width. Okay, inner this is 10 centimeter. So this is the width of channel, and depth of channel we can determine here. So if you observe, scales are attached here. So at this cross section we can measure the depth of flow. Again same way we can measure the depth of flow at this section also. Same way here also. One more section is there. So at any section which you feels comfortable, you can measure the depth of flow. Width, it is 10 centimeter. So you can determine the area of channel section also. So this is in short a construction of a tilting plume. Now here for making the motor on and off, so this is the operation. So once we push the button on, motor will get started. So I will going to show you how the water is flowing. So let me start the pump. So if you observe, pump has been started. Water started. See, water is coming here. So yes, so water is started flowing through this channel section. So if you observe, so here we can observe what is the arrangement we have done in order to allow the flow of. Here we can observe what is the arrangement. So this is the pipe. Again, if you observe, this is perforated pipe. So here we have ensured there should be a less turbulence. Therefore, we have went with the perforated pipe, and again water is coming in upward direction, and here from this point onwards, it starts flowing in the channel. So I will here make an obstruction to the flow by placing this tube. Now if you look, the surge is taking place, and that's a water surge, or whatever we can say the flow is in the opposite direction. So we look here. So we'll just wait. Once again, I think there is a need to put one more block. So I will going to put this one more block. Yes. So now if you observe, here this is hydraulic jump. So we will just wait for 1 more minutes so that that jump will stable its location somewhere. So I think here if you observe, this is a perfect location for our hydraulic jump. It has been formed. Yes, so now I think, yes, we can observe here. So this is hydraulic jump. See here the depth. This is hydraulic jump. So here up to this section, depth is this much only. But if you look beyond this section and up to, let us say, beyond this section here, depth is suddenly increased and over a short period of length. So therefore, this type of flow between this is section number 1, and let us say this is section number 2, this is called as the rapidly varied flow and hydraulic jump. So look here, there are tremendous turbulence here. Okay, so we can make use of this turbulence. Industries, they used to make use of this turbulence for different type of purposes. If we add some chemicals here, if we want to mix that chemical vigorously, we can add in this zone so that we can make use of this turbulence. Okay, so there are different applications of this turbulence so that we can make use of this turbulence. Okay, now the point is, yes, we have formed the hydraulic jump in between this section. So 2 observations we will going to perform. First is the Y1, that is the supercritical depth. So if you observe here, it is almost 20 mm. Exactly, this is almost, let us say, little bit more. So we can assume 20. Okay, so it is fluctuating since flow is supercritical, velocity is quite more. So we will assume the Y1 as 20 centimeter. And if you want to measure Y2, again you can make use of this. Okay, so look here, Y2 is almost 75, or in between, let us say 73 or 74 somewhere. Okay, so 2 observations we can have. So observe this hydraulic jump. So this is very interesting phenomenon. So how the length or how the depth of flow is changing over a shorter length. So that's why therefore it is called as a rapidly varied flow. And we have artificially generated this hydraulic jump in this tilting tube. Okay, I think you got the concept of how to form the hydraulic jump in the tilting tube and how to note down the Y1 and Y2. Observation of Y1 and Y2, we have to determine the actual discharge flowing through this channel. So for this, I think you can refer to the video that is already I have told you how to determine the discharge by using measuring tank. And in that video, that is determination of Manning's constant for a channel. In that video, if you can refer to that video, I have told you how I have demonstrated in front of you how to determine the discharge by using measuring tank. You can refer to that video. So once you measure the discharge, so from that discharge, you can determine the velocity at section number 1, and if you put the velocity and the Y1 in the Froude number equation, you can determine the Froude's number for this type of flow. And depending upon that Froude number, you type of hydraulic jump. So this is as far as the problem statement is concerned related to the identifying experimentally the types of hydraulic jump. Okay, so that's it as far as this practical is concerned. Thank you for watching this video. I wish you a happy day.